Good evening and welcome to this City of Pasco regular meeting on this Monday, August 5th, 2024. The City Council thanks you for being the City Council thanks you for being a part of your local government. At these regular meetings, that is, the City Council takes formal actions on items, holds public hearings, and conducts business of the city. Now, agenda packets for those who are present are available on that small table immediately to your right as you enter. For those who are following along via internet or on PSC TV channel 191, you can go to www.pasco-wa.gov/agenda. As mentioned, this is being televised on PSC TV channel 191 in Pasco and in Richland. It is streamed on the city's Facebook page, its website, its YouTube channel, and via GoToWebinar. This and previous council meetings are available on the city's website. And then lastly, the public may submit comments or ask questions by contacting the city manager, city clerk, or by using the Ask Pasco app. Nonetheless, we will have our time for public comment at the appropriate time. With that, Ms. Clerk.
Councilmember Barajas is excused tonight.
Correct.
All right. Councilmember Blaisdell.
Present.
Councilmember Grimm.
Here.
Councilmember Harpster.
Present.
Councilmember Perales.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Milne.
Present.
And Mayor Serrano.
I am here.
Thank
So with that, would you all please stand and join with me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And with that, we will move on to our consent agenda, which is item number 4 for those of you following along. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by a roll call as one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If further discussion is desired by the council members, the particular item may be removed from the consent agenda to the regular agenda, and then it will be considered separately. So with that, we've got item A, which is approval of meeting minutes for July 1st, July 8th, and July 22nd. We got item B, which is bills and communications, approving claims in the total amount of $17,231,637.88, with a write-off totaling $34,631 flat for delinquent or bad debt. Got item C, resolution number 4472, supplemental agreement with HLA for project management for professional services on the Lewis Street Overpass project. We got item D, resolution number 4473, declaring the city's 2024 legislative interim action plan as potential legislative priorities for the 2025 session of the Washington State Legislature. Got item E, which is reappointment of the Pasco Public Facilities District Board. That's member Mark Morissette. And then finally, item F, which is appointment of the Housing Authority of the City of Pasco and Franklin County Board of Commissioners for Mr. Paul Cook. Mr. Milne.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Got Mr. Milne's motion and the second from Ms. Blaisdell. And with that, all in favor? We got a roll call with Debbie, right?
Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
All right. Councilmember Blaisdell.
Yes.
Councilmember Grimm.
Yes.
Councilmember Harpster.
Yes.
Councilmember Perales.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Milne.
Yes.
And Mayor Serrano.
Yes.
Great. It passes unanimously.
Passes unanimously. Item number 5 is proclamations and acknowledgements. There are none. Item number 6 is public comment. The public may address council on any item unless it relates to a scheduled public hearing. This item is provided to allow the opportunity to bring items to the attention of City Council or to express an opinion on an issue. Its purpose is not to provide a venue for debate or the posing of questions with the expectation of an immediate response. Some questions require consideration by council over time and after deliberative process with input from a number of different sources. Some questions are best directed to staff who have access to specific information. Citizen comments will be limited to 3 minutes by myself. Those with lengthy messages are invited to summarize their comments or submit written information for council consideration by the council outside of formal meetings. And when you're called, please provide your name and your county or city of residence. And I will note, if we start to aggregate the same type of comments, we will ask that folks truncate those. With that, public comment is open. Mr. Brown.
That's what I get for being out of practice. Irving Brown, great city of Pasco, Washington. Just a quick address, and I think I got it under 2 minutes for you, so I'll beat the clock tonight, I hope. Dear city staff, council members, Mayor Serrano, and the city manager, Mr. Lincoln. I want to open my comments by first saying that this approach is not to separate, divide, or cause disparities towards anyone or organizations, but instead I'm asking for the opportunity to have transparent and respectable conversation regarding the Martin Luther King Center. And yes, the reallocation of funds to the Boys and Girls Club. Mr. Brian Ace, the executive director of the Boys and Girls Club, and I had a great conversation. The NAACP aims to understand how and why the City of Pasco reallocation of ARPA funds happened as it did. I'm pleased to say that Brian and I are on the same page and unified in our understanding and respect to communities and our youth. For decades, Dr. Martin Luther King, the MLK Center in Pasco, has stood as a beacon of hope and support for our community. From the challenging times of sundown cities to this present day, the center has been a cornerstone for many, offering vital services to our marginalized communities. For those reasons, we need to work together as a community, a city staff, city council, and most of our funding organizations. The goal is not to take away funding from other qualified organizations, but to create conversation to be fully inclusive in decision-making with better options. In the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of standing together in love, equality, we call upon you to support the Martin Luther King Center. The center is not just a building, it's a symbol of our collective commitment to justice, equality, and community and solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. And ma'am.
Hello. Excuse the mask. I had dental thing today, so. My name is Benji Allen Griffin. I'm from Franklin County, Pasco, Washington. I am currently the vice president of the NAACP. The Martin Luther King Center needs your immediate support for much needed funding to continue its mission. Your contributions will enable the center to provide essential services to those in need, offer educational programs and resources, foster a sense of community and belonging, continue to be a safe haven for our marginalized populations. Dr. King's dream was for us to stand together, and now more than ever, we need to show our unity and dedication to this vision. By supporting the Martin Luther King Center, you are not only helping to carry out the dream of unity, but also demonstrating that our community works in solidarity. Please consider the following. Bring this item back for discussion at a workshop meeting. Advocating for the Martin Luther King Center. Ensure that funds are distributed equally to all community organizations that qualify. Reach out in detail to the community regarding the Martin Luther King Jr. Center as it goes through much needed renovations. Continued efforts to search for funding that sustains the Martin Luther King Center for years to come. Please explain, why has the renovation not started on the Martin Luther King Center? There is funding set approximately 6.5 million, but we are paying survey fees, etc., with deadlines approaching to spend or return the funds if we are correct. Was the Boys and Girls Club under the impression that the 1.26 million was guaranteed and written in the allocation? Was the Boys and Girls Club ready to move on the project because they had already spent public and private funds with the understanding that they, the Boys and Girls Club, would receive said funds? Why were there no options provided to ensure all facilities could possibly receive funding out of the 1.26? But again, the entire 1.26 was reallocated to the Boys and Girls Club after being marked for the Martin Luther King Center by the previous city council, if we are correct. Thank you for your continued support and commitment to making Dr. King's dream a reality in our community, with us all working together in solidarity and equality. Respectfully, the NAACP Tri-Cities Washington Chapter 1135B and the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Rachel Gettner. I live in Pasco. I'm here today to comment on the removal of trees from the Parkade. That's a little plaza on Lewis Street, kind of between the downtown post office and the Union Gospel Mission offices. This is an example of what the Parkade looked like before. You can see it had trees. This is what it looks like now. It's just this sun-baked area. And the 4 mature trees were removed by the city maintenance crews. Now, the trouble is the concrete and the asphalt surfaces absorb heat, and then they release it into the surrounding air that heats up the microclimate around there, and it creates what we call a heat island. And in heat islands, sometimes they're like 10 degrees hotter than parts of town that have a better tree cover. And we don't need more heat. We've already broken heat records in June and July. And another thing about heat islands is you're more likely to find them in parts of town where low-income people live and where people of color live. And so we need to be minimizing disparities, not exacerbating them. Trees, city trees improve physical and mental health. They decrease air pollution. And I don't know if removing the trees in the Parkade was a misguided attempt at addressing the homeless who congregate in downtown Pasco, but I see lots of homeless people in Volunteer Park and Memorial Park, and are we going to chop down those trees too? We need to be planting trees, not chopping them down. Pasco is a Tree City, USA. We have an obligation to honor our commitments to the urban forest and to our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. You're on. No, you just turn it off. You're the one that turned. You. There you go.
Jace Wright, Benton County. I don't know what in the hell y'all are doing up there. Are you kidding me? A center that served 3,000 people in 1 year, but you reallocate funds to a center that's seeing 706? Are you kidding me? This center saved my life and many people in this community. It better get its funds. Y'all sitting up there getting paid for this, sitting up there pimping the Martin Luther King Jr. Center. That's exactly what you're doing. Giving managerial titles to YMCA and allowing them to rent out to who they want to rent it out to. No programs for the youth. You got Head Start, so we cleaning diapers in there for Martin Luther King Jr. That's what he's about. Fix it. It's gonna get fixed one way or another, like my grandmama used to always say. You wait on Johnny Time, Adam Lincoln, in the end, he tell it all. Fix it, or we'll be forced to have to. Thank you.
Do we have any additional public comment?
It's okay, because we got time.
Sir?
That's what I got.
With the hand up. If you'll turn on the mic at the base. Should be two, but other side. There you go.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not sure how this works. This is my first council meeting. I was going to try to do some information gathering first before I brought my problem, but I guess I'll raise it now and probably again later. My name is Aaron Reinhardt. I'm Pasco, Washington, and the Chiawana Homeowners Association member. And the issue I have today is the developer had been required by the city council to develop the easement for the gas line that runs through our neighborhood. And the city council also required an HOA to maintain that. My two issues are, we have other easements in the city that we are paying taxes to maintain by the city. So I'm unsure of why you've chosen us to take on the full cost of this one when others are maintained by the city. Secondly, somebody signed off from the city that the developer met all the requirements, but he never developed that easement. So my guess is they mistakenly did so, and now the city is threatening us with fines if we do not landscape that easement. That was required initially for the developer by the city council, so I'm not sure why it was signed off. And now we're all being assessed $1,000 for to landscape this. So my two issues again are why is the city threatening fines for us, the homeowners, when they mistakenly signed off the developer? I think if you can't hold the developer to this, then I think the city needs to bear that cost, not us, because that was initially an agreement between you guys and the developer, and apparently it's been signed away. So I don't think that's our burden. And secondly, trying to figure out why we are shouldering the entire cost of this gas easement, why that wasn't for the gas supplier, or why there's other areas that either aren't developed of this easement through the city, or areas where the city again is maintaining it through our tax funds. So those are my concerns. And first time I'm hearing of this center, but I'll throw my weight behind that too, is I guess I'm also curious why, if you guys had funds allocated for a center, why they're reallocated. So
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. And I saw our staff taking notes, I think, on those primary questions. I don't know, sir, if you've sent an email, but I'm sure someone will be in touch with you about answering those two questions. Do we have any additional public comment? Go ahead. Ms. Mahoney?
Are they done?
I'm, come on up.
Okay, I will. Is this on?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Mary Mahoney, Pasco, Washington, floodplain resident. Let me get back to my, on the recent news, they covered phase 1 of the aquatic center at a cost of $34 to $47 million. And I happened to see on the same news, Prosser built a new Boys and Girls Club at a cost of $6 million. For less tax dollars, Pasco could fix up the memorial pool, build a new Boys and Girls Club, fix up or build a new Martin Luther King Center, and we would have a better future for our youngsters. This is a no-brainer to me. The Aquatic Center Director Watkins said that the Aquatic Center is long overdue. I disagree. What is long overdue is an animal shelter with an emphasis on shelter. In the same news, the Animal Control Director, Ben Zegan, sought community help for animal overcrowding. I humbly suggest, at no cost, keep animal control open past 5 p.m. and open 7 days a week. You can just do a shift change. This will increase adoptions, and people will be able to reclaim their pets. Build an on-site spay-neuter clinic. Prevent Homeless Pets has spay and neutered 62,000 animals since 2009. Tri-City Kitten Rescue rescued 300 kittens at one location. The spay-neuter clinic is a tremendous need. Install more kennels. Put in dog runs. There's no dog runs at the new facility for less stress. Calm equals happy for animals and people. Track down the missing funds from the cruelty case and the rainy day fund. The cruelty case, there's at least $375,000 missing. Nobody comments on that, but I realize it's in litigation. The rainy day fund, contact the past animal control director, Angela Zeiler, and say, what's up? Include due process in the potentially dangerous and dangerous animal ordinances, and train officers in due process. Due process creates less fear. We need people not to be afraid. And provide a copy via Lee Kerr, the Pasco employee, public servant, stated that the WSU Animal Control Termination Agreement would be presented on 4/1/19. Haven't received a copy. Call the WSU President Schultz for a current list of
If I
other
can
animal
ask you to
controls
wrap it up, ma'am.
that provide animals for research. Shelters are not for research. Other cautionary Pasco projects are view the Ike Meyer Roundy,
Please.
May 23rd, 2022. It's Derigold versus the People. I need a start date for project number 24593. Already that wiped out the floodplain American bald eagles, 8 of them, for the
Thank you,
Hayden
ma'am.
developers. If Tri-City Animal Control continues to be a research provider, they are subject
Ms.
to
Mahoney,
animal
Ms.
welfare
Mahoney.
violations, the Department of Justice and
Please
the
stop.
Environmental Protection Agency, and if Pasco continues, they violate all of our constitutional rights, commit eco-crimes.
Do we have any additional public comment? It's off. There you go.
Good evening. I'm not used to being on this side. Let me just get my comments so I stick to my time. My name is Zara Roach. I still live in Pasco. I'm here today before you with a couple hats on, one as a former city council member and the other as a mom. Well, finally, as a Pasco resident who still cares about my community. My children attend Boys and Girls Club, so they go to summer camp at the Kennewick Club, and there's a reason why we go to the Kennewick Club. It's fun, it's bright, it shows our kids that they're worthy of having a nice space to be in. I've also had the experience of, as a council member, talking to the Pasco Club youth about career pathways. One in my civic role and then as a nonprofit employee. So I have a really good firsthand experience of what that school, that former Pasco School District school, looks like on the inside. Hopefully you've toured it. The MLK Center and the Boys and Girls Club, Pasco Club, are both worthy causes. They're both in need of repair and renovations. What I think what is causing me some friction internally is that they're not to be pitted against one another. I empathize with your role. I've done it. It's really hard to make decisions on budget allocations when there's so many different good things to put money towards. And so I think there is some community confusion as to the allocation of the funds, and I would love to see some transparency. The use of the city website. It looks like the MLK Community Center landing page has some information and it kind of stops off at a certain point. So I think that there's that use of that. And I just want to acknowledge that for a city that owns a community center, it's more difficult for you to fundraise than it is for a nonprofit to go out and make asks in the community and hold fundraising events. I know that space really well too. So my ask for council would be do what we did in 2021, where we made it a priority in our legislative agenda. We asked our city lobbyist to go find more funding to get that project across the finish line. I think the indication from you all can be that it is still a priority, while also prioritizing another community space that is also worthy. They're going to serve Pasco kids regardless, whether it's on 18th Street or it's over by Robinson Elementary. So please show that and share that in your communication, whether it's here in council or on the website. And I'm over. Thanks.
Do we have any additional public comment?
Yeah, I would actually like to apologize.
Yeah, go ahead. It's the right side. There you go.
All right, Jace Wright again. We're going to try this again. Benton County. And I would like to apologize to everybody in the room for my emotions earlier. I would like to also commend and thank Councilmember Leo Perales for the support. It is deeply heartfelt. It really is. You got character and integrity, and that stands out. I really, really strongly suggest that y'all revisit the reallocation of the funds. Strongly, strongly, strongly. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. That takes a lot. Any additional public comment going twice?
Good evening. My name's Kim Lehrman, 6514 West Park Street, Pasco. Hearing about the concerns over the MLK Center and the allocation, as well as thinking about the taxpayers' burden on this, we've stepped forward. If you take a look back in 2021, there was over 100 signatures on the legislative priority of the letter that was sent by Heather Cossey, I believe, who was a legislative rep for our city. And $1.2 million was allocated to MLK Center at that point in time. Additional funds came in to a grand total of 6.2, I believe, is what's listed on the website. But as Ms. Roach had mentioned, is that the information on the website for your guys' MLK Center landing page does not continue, it does not share out more. And so thinking at it as a taxpayer in this community who greatly supports MLK Center, I also think about the Pasco School District and what a great job they do on providing information regarding current construction projects. Keep us in the know. Let us know where funds are at and what is the expected date. Past articles can be outdated, and so if you were to look at the Tri-City Herald and go through the different past articles, you'll see that they stopped somewhere around March 2023. And that's when they said that groundbreaking is supposed to happen. So when things are outdated, please go ahead and update us citizens. That's all. We want to stay in the know, and we want to partner with you. So thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any additional public comment? We will make our third and final call here.
Oh, here. Andre Griffin, Franklin County, Pasco. Just listening to what's going on here, it seems like there's a lack of transparency on where the funds are going. And I'm listening to folks saying that it's not been accounted for. So the question is, who's handling the money? The next question is, if money is allocated for a specific group, that's where it needs to go. That's what it's for. And when you hear things like that, and I look around, who do you trust in here? Because we should know all these answers. You all should know. You seem to want people to get through with this 3 minutes and get out of here. That's not good. You all were elected, and I'm assuming you're being paid. I'm assuming. And if you're volunteering, I understand. But maybe you should do something else if we can't get this right. We all grown in here. We all know that there is a problem. I see my neighbor over here, Leo. I told you when you got this position, you said you were going to change stuff like this. I told you you wasn't going to do nothing. Okay. It makes people frustrated when you hear this type of stuff. I'll be 64 years old next month. I live right here in Pasco. Dr. Martin Luther King, we didn't hear about this in school. So you all don't know how important it is. That's why he acted up like that. I had to find out what he meant from my parents. And we're talking about changing the name. If it wasn't for Martin Luther King, I couldn't even stand up and talk to you people in a forum like this. I couldn't even vote. You need to get it together or leave it alone. I'm done.
Thank you. Do we have any additional public comment? Seeing none, I know our staff has taken notes, and we've talked about the need to have this conversation and address some of these concerns, some of these things that are accurate and some that are not accurate as well. And so I don't know whether the staff's going to do that through the website, but we've heard, and we want to get the right information out. It's not at our fingertips right now, or at least not at mine. And so what we'll do is we'll make sure that as we continually have this conversation, that we advertise it. Just as all the prior meetings have been advertised, we'll make sure the information is out there. So with that, we're going to move on to item number 7, which is reports from committees or officers. Seeing no lights from my co-counsel, I will note this, that I did have the opportunity to attend the World Horseshoe pitching competition in Kennewick at the convention center. I was going to say the almost as cool as Hapo Center over there in Kennewick, at the convention center. And it was a great opportunity. The folks at Visit Tri-City did a heck of a job putting on the event. It was a really wonderful opportunity to meet with folks all around the world who came to Kennewick to throw horseshoes. And it's pretty awesome to see that type of involvement and interest in our community. So shout out to Visit Tri-Cities for landing that event. Shout out to Visit Tri-Cities for hosting it, as well as the convention center. Seeing no further lights, we're going to move on to item number 8, which is hearings and council action on ordinances and resolutions relating thereto. We have a handful of items here. It's item 8A is public hearing and ordinance number 4721, right-of-way vacation for MACA LLC, Alley's Vacation. And we're going to hear from...
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. Try to get the PowerPoint slide going here, but this item is related to a request to vacate 20 feet of alley located northwest of the intersection of East Bonneville Street and North Main Avenue. On March 4th, City Council passed resolution number 4470, setting tonight, August 5th, as the date for a public hearing. In March, the city received a petition for the right of a vacation. The criteria for the vacation is outlined in the Pasco Municipal Code and is provided on the screen, and as follows. Generally, the vacation shall not adversely affect traffic, accessibility, and circulation within the immediate area. The right-of-way is not contemplated or needed for future public use. that no abutting property will become landlocked or its access impaired, and that the public needs shall not be adversely affected, and the vacation will provide for a public benefit or serve a public purpose. Staff has evaluated the request, and you can see on the map there, it's the area highlighted in that red. Staff has evaluated the request per the requirements of the Pasco Municipal Code, and recommends approval of the proposed vacation. No comments have been received opposing the vacation, and a resolution is attached to the staff report for your review. Thank you.
We'll call a 5-minute recess to work on this technical difficulty. So, Thank you for your patience. Apologize for that. We had a bit of a technical difficulty. So with that, we will recommence or be back on item 8A. Again, that was public hearing and ordinance number 4721, right-of-way vacation for MACA LLC, Alley's Vacation, and Mr. Gonzalez provided the staff report. With that, do we have any council comments or question before we get a motion? Seeing none, Mr. Milne.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to adopt ordinance number 4721, vacating a 20-foot alley in Block 105, Pasco Land Company, First Edition to Pasco, Washington, and further authorize publication by summary only.
Hold on. Oh, sorry. This is a public hearing. I apologize.
Okay.
For some reason, I totally missed that. It is a public hearing. With that, oh, geez. I should have grabbed the script ahead. I should have paid more attention. That's on me.
This is just, this is just a regular public hearing. This isn't a quasi judicial matter, so
Okay.
you can just open it for public comment.
With that, I will open the public hearing for public comment. Make a second call for public comment. And I will make a third call for public comment. Seeing none, I will now close the public hearing. And now I'll ask Mr. Milne for a motion.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd love to read this again. I move to adopt ordinance number 4721, vacating a 20-foot alley in Block 105, Pasco Land Company, First Edition to Pasco, Washington, and further authorize publication by summary only.
Second.
Got a motion and a second by Ms. Blaisdell. And are we gonna, do we need a voice vote or,
Voice vote's fine.
voice vote? All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Move on to item B8B, public meeting and resolution number 4476, accepting a notice of intent for Valdivia annexation. Mr. Gonzalez.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. The owners of a property located northwest of the intersection of West Argent and Road 44 have submitted a notice of intent to commence annexation. The notice was received by staff and determined to be complete, and on July 1st, City Council approved resolution number 4468, setting tonight, August 5th, as the date to conduct a public hearing to consider the notice. Annexations are a two-step process in the City of Pasco. First is acceptance of the notice of intent, which is tonight's public meeting, followed later by the actual annexation. Following the council review of the proposed annexation and a passage of a resolution accepting the boundary, staff will present the proposed annexation along with a proposed zoning determination to the hearing examiner for a recommendation on the zoning, and prepare that annexation petition to be brought back to City Council. This particular property is designated for commercial use per the Pasco Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map. During the review of this proposal, and you'll see on this next slide here, staff actually recommends the approval of the notice of intent, along with including the full right-of-way that you can see outlined there in green. Several projects over the years and in the future identified along Argent, along with Road 40. This will help connect two portions of existing city property, both in the north and the east of the site. Attached for council review is a resolution for your review. Again, staff recommends approval of the resolution and is happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. And with that, I will open the public meeting. Do we have any public comment on this? Going once? Going twice? Going a third time? The public meeting is closed. Mr. Milne.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve resolution number 4476, accepting a notice of intent to commence annexation proceedings for the Valdivia annexation, providing a determination on the boundary to be annexed, and whether simultaneous zoning and the assumption of bonded indebtedness will be required.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously. With that, we're gonna move on to item C. Mr. Harpster.
I'm going to go ahead and recuse myself from this item. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. That's all we need. We don't need any. Mr. Harpster's recusing himself. We're
Yep,
good there.
that'd be great.
Okay.
Yep.
Just want to make sure. So item C is public meeting resolution number 4477, accepting a notice of intent for the Shumway Taylor Flats Road annexation. That's ANX 2024-002. And Mr. Gonzalez is going to stick with you, sir.
Good evening again, council. The owners of a property located north of Dent Road between Columbia River Road and Taylor Flats Road have submitted a notice of intent to commence annexation. The notice of intent was reviewed by staff and determined complete. On July 1st, 2024, City Council approved resolution number 4469, setting tonight, August 5th, as a date to conduct a public meeting to consider the request. The property here is approximately 15 acres, just under 15 acres in size, and per the Pasco Comprehensive Plan future land use map is designated for commercial use. Following council review of the proposed annexation and a passage of a resolution accepting the boundary, staff will prepare and present the proposed annexation along with a zoning determination to the Pasco hearing examiner for a recommendation that will then be brought back to City Council. So attached to the staff report is a resolution for council review, and staff is here to answer any questions if we can. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, since this is a public meeting, I'm going to open it for public comment.
I'm sorry, can I just ask, is annexation just going from county to city? Is that what they're talking about?
Mr. Gonzalez, you got a quick 30-second primer?
Yes, that's correct. The city of Pasco has an urban growth area which accounts for all the land that we anticipate needing to account for 20 years worth of growth. And within that urban growth area is both city and county land. And this is a portion that is still county where the owners have requested to be annexed into the city.
Is that just the purpose so they
Sir, if we're going to do a dialogue, go ahead and come up so the folks in the audience. But I do want to note that you'll be limited to 3 minutes.
just for a question, I'm just curious. If is the intent just so they can develop it later on? Is that why they asked to annex?
Potentially, this item is solely just to consider the notice and the intent. If it is approved, the resolution tonight is approved, it will be brought to the hearing examiner to determine a zoning that is in accordance with the Pasco Comprehensive Plan, and then that will be brought to council. If that moves forward, then potentially the owner could choose to develop.
Okay, I was just trying to learn how all this works. Sorry, I'm new to this.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, for that primer. So now we don't need a 4-year degree, right? I'm kidding. Really appreciate it, though, Jacob. So with that, we've had one public comment. Do we have any additional public comment? Going twice. Do we have any additional public comment going a third time? Hearing none, we have conducted the public meeting. Mr. Milne.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve resolution number 4477, accepting a notice of intent to commence annexation proceedings for the Shumway annexation, providing a determination on the boundary to be annexed, and whether simultaneous with zoning and the assumption of bonded indebtedness will be required.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And aye. Any opposed?
Did we actually want to somebody go get Councilmember Harpster? Is he recusing himself from all these items?
He recused himself from this one, and we
Okay.
We
I just wanted
just
to make sure we
finished
had-
this one.
I'm sorry. I thought those were separate. I thought he was recusing himself on the development reimbursement agreements, but I'm sorry.
No. He wanted to recuse himself on
Okay,
this one.
great. Okay, just want to make
But
sure.
we'll bring him back now that we've finished this one. It passed unanimously. Now we'll bring him back. Yeah. So that passes unanimously, and we're bringing Mr. Harpster back in. And with that, okay. With that, we're moving on to item number 9, ordinances and resolutions not relating to hearings. And we've got item 8, ordinance number 4722, amending PMC or Pasco Municipal Code Titles 5 and 25 related to public space and mobile vending. And that's going to come from Mr. Gonzalez once again.
Good evening. This is a brief update along with a recommendation to amend the municipal code related to public space and mobile vending. This ordinance has been before City Council over the past several months, and the intent of the effort was to expand economic opportunities. The proposal supports local entrepreneurs and vendors by creating new business opportunities for expansion in the city of Pasco. Community engagement. This certainly was an item that staff and the city heard from various stakeholders across throughout the several planning efforts, and an opportunity to activate public and private spaces, contribute to a vibrant neighborhood level or city atmosphere, attracting residents and businesses. Much of the feedback that we received on this item was initiated during the development of the Downtown Pasco Master Plan. However, there was numerous comments received before and after that planning effort as well. During the last presentation, the City Council staff received direction from City Council, and those comments have been reflected in the ordinance for your review this evening. A summary of the proposals on the screen for everyone, but a high-level overview of the code amendment is that the proposal will expand sidewalk cafes, allowing sidewalks and parking spaces for seating at restaurants and cafes and other food establishments, allowing parklets, which is essentially taking an underutilized parking space and using that as a private parklet, developing guidelines for public space cafes, mobile vending. The current regulations regarding mobile vending have been determined to be restrictive, and so the proposal increases flexibility and allowance of these uses across the city, and also allowing for the development of food truck parks and hubs. And in terms of next steps, one is a code amendment that's for council review tonight. Staff, if this is approved, would then begin developing some marketing material and communication material to share this amongst food truck vendors, businesses, et cetera, across the region. We also believe developing a user's guide, even though the code has been revised to be much more simpler. Always an opportunity to create a publicly friendly user's guide. And then like any code amendment, and this one's fairly substantial given where the current code is versus what this one is proposing, staff would recommend providing annual reports to City Council. One, so we can track how the ordinance has been used, number of new licenses, number of new businesses, where they're locating, identifying the positives associated with that, and also if there are any issues or challenges that need to be brought back to City Council for consideration or items that need to be addressed. So with that, a staff report along with an ordinance is attached to the staff report for your review, and staff will be happy to answer any questions we can this evening on this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Appreciate that information. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Mr. Perales.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to say, really appreciate Jacob and his staff doing this. This is something that came up a lot when I was running for office, and I was glad to see it kind of take off during the master plan efforts. And just want to applaud you and your staff for getting this done. And one question was, did we ever get a map of where some proposed places we're going to spots in downtown where mobile food vendors could be?
We don't have a map. We can produce one based on the criteria that is already in the proposed ordinance. There are several criteria related to buffers and setbacks from city utilities, curb ramps, driveways, alleyways, fire hydrants, bus stops, and setbacks for perimeter requirements. That's in particular the pedestrian clear zone in front of sidewalk. And so we could certainly map that, bring that back to council and share that, and have that available publicly. And essentially what it will tell you is with those requirements based on the criteria in the proposed code, this is where you would be allowed to put up a potential vendor business. And that'll limit some of the areas that are probably most problematic and where we don't want to see them in the commercial core area downtown.
That works for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other public, or it's not public, any other comments or questions from council? Seeing none, Mr. Milne.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to adopt ordinance number 4722, amending the Title V Business Licenses and Regulations and Title 25 Zoning of the Pasco Municipal Code to implement the downtown Pasco master plan by expanding opportunities for business to use streets, public spaces, and private lots to increase activity in downtown and in other retail hubs, and further authorize publication by summary only.
Second.
Got a motion and a second by Ms. Blaisdell. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously. We'll move on to item B, ordinance number 4723, small cell wireless facility deployment franchise agreement for U.S. Cellular. Looks like City Attorney Ferguson, that's you.
Great, thank you. So essentially, this is one that we had about a couple months ago, and we had some questions from council members that we wanted to track down, and then we're able to work with the applicant, U.S. Cellular, and get some of those answers. Specifically, the questions, I know it's been a long time since then, but just to remind you the questions. One was related to the bonding amount. The $50,000 limit seemed a little low when we're talking about this type of activity. And so it did speak with Daniel Kenny, our attorney, outside council attorney, who's a specialist in this area. And one of the things that he said was that was pretty common. It's common both internally with the city of Pasco. We do that for other franchises, but then it also is common kind of in the industry as well. And the reason why is because the bonding amount is only for compliance with the franchise agreement and the requirements of the franchise agreement, not the actual permits, which would have a separate and additional bond related to the actual work that would be done under the franchise. So in layman's terms, essentially what that means is as long as you're complying with whatever requirements, for example, say the call-in requirement for setting up the work times, those types of things. If there was something that, some kind of damages that took place that the bond could be utilized for something like that, it would be to comply with the franchise, not to actually do the work. So it sounds like we could change that. We're not stuck with it. We'd be a little remiss to do it, obviously, at this point, because this fits with the other franchises. But if the council decides in the future they want to go a different direction and kick that up a notch, you certainly can do that. But it sounds like there's not a whole lot of risk associated with not complying, high damages with not complying with the franchise. Rather, it's more going to be related to the actual work being done that would have a separate bond issued for that particular permit. So there was that issue. The other question really was kind of related to fees in terms of like, are we getting enough fees for this? And so that was kind of interesting. Same kind of analysis in terms of there's the two different parts. There's the franchise, which is the kind of the master permit, and then there's the individual permits for the individual work sites. And so we can, the good news is while we do have a quote $1,000 fee for a franchise, that's just a deposit. And based on our code, we get to pass those costs, the actual cost of going through this process to get the franchise to them. We can actually track those costs and then have the applicant reimburse the city for those costs. So that's in our code. That's compliant with state law. So we're in good shape there. With regard to the permits, though, the actual individual permits, the feds, the Congress decided to take that out of everybody's hands and have limited that to $500 for the first 1 through 5 permits, site location permits, and then after that it's $100 each. So we're limited to those low amounts unless we go through a study and an analysis to show how somehow we should be treated differently, and we should be able to actually acquire those reimbursement costs because they're well and above what Congress has allocated for us. So I think we're in good shape where we're at in terms of great questions, and it was good to get the responses back on it because it really kind of sharpened the distinction between the franchise and the permits. But those were the two. And then I think the follow-up question was related to definitions of small wireless facilities, and that is all in our code as well. And I can drag us through all the nuances of it, but essentially, there's the small wireless facility, which is essentially the 3 cubic feet antenna, and then a maximum of I think it's 28 cubic feet of support equipment that is allowed to be incorporated with that. Now that is separate and apart from poles and towers and those other items. Those are limited in our code through the design standards and compliant with the federal law as well as to not be able to exceed over 50 feet. There's certain other requirements, and we have some really strict design requirements. So to hear some of the applicants, we require essentially a Cadillac version of a pole compared to some other folks. So I think when you're getting that kind of feedback from the applicant, that's probably a good sign. So anyway, happy to answer any other questions, but otherwise, looks like we're ready to go and get US Cellular in town and let them start getting some small cell sites up.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Seeing none, Mr. Milne.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to adopt ordinance number 4723, approving a non-exclusive franchise to construct, install, operate, maintain, repair, or remove small wireless facilities, small wireless facility poles, and small wireless towers within the public ways of the city of Pasco, and further authorize publication by summary only.
Second.
We got a motion, second by Mr. Milne, seconded by Ms. Blaisdell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that too passes unanimously. Moving on to item C, resolutions number 4478 and 4479, surplus and sale of city property along Burden Boulevard. And it looks like Ms. Sigdell, Deputy City Manager, you'll be talking to us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and evening council members. I'm taking you back to the food vendors. We are selling this pad site. There's two of them. The one in question is a slightly smaller 1.39 acres, shaded in blue in the pictures there. And they're right next to our GISA Stadium and Hapo Center as well. And we're looking, next slide please. We're looking at a sales price of $845,000. The buyer has gone through due diligence efforts, and what they're looking to bring to the area is a food truck hub. And we're very excited about their presence there, and they're looking to build here very soon and pulling permits on the facility. And they will be bringing close to, and don't take my word for it, but close to 20 plus food trucks in that area that provides great amount of diversity in terms of foods that will be available to our community in a location that is ideal. And so we are asking for approval of surplus of the property as well as authorizing the city manager to execute the contract with the buyer.
Thank you, Ms. Sigdell. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Mr. Harpster.
Just real quick, I just want to express my excitement for this opportunity for Pasco and hope that we're able to outpace the Kennewick location, especially given its location next to the Dust Devils Stadium and their lengthened season over the last few years becoming a AAA team. So I think it's a really good move. Thanks.
Exactly. It's nice to see that coming into this area. Any other questions or comments? With that, we're going to have two motions. We're going to take them in turn. The first to surplus this and the second to sale it if the first passes. So with that, Mr. Milne, motion number one.
Okay, Mayor. I move to approve resolution number 4478, approving the surplus of certain city-owned real property located along Burden Boulevard, parcel number 117370017.
Second.
Got a motion and a second by Mr. Milne and a second by Mr. Harpster. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Now, Mr. Milne for that second one.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve resolution number 4479, approving the sale of certain city-owned real property located along Burden Boulevard, parcel number 117370017.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Milne and a second by Ms. Blaisdell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that too passes unanimously. We're going to move on to item D, resolution number 4480, setting a public hearing for Alvarado Place right-of-way vacation. That's VAC 2024002. Mr. Gonzalez.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. On May 9th, 2024, the city received a petition to vacate 20 feet of right-of-way located approximately 300 feet east of the Road 100 and West Court Street intersection. The Pasco Municipal Code outlines the provisions for the vacation of rights-of-way in Title 12. This presentation is not meant to evaluate the merits based on the criteria, but those are highlighted on the screen for your review. And generally, the intention is to make sure that the public use will not be adversely affected, that traffic will still be kept intact, and that public needs shall not be affected either by a proposed right-of-way vacation. You can see the location of the proposed request right here. Staff has determined that the application, the petition is complete for processing, and that per the municipal code, a public hearing shall be conducted to review the merits of the vacation request. Staff recommends that City Council move forward with the resolution attached to your staff report this evening and set Monday, September 16th, 2024 as the date for a public hearing to consider the vacation request. Staff is available to answer any questions for you this evening on this item. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Seeing none, Mr. Melny.
I move to approve resolution number 4480, setting 7 p.m. Monday, September 16th, 2024 as the time and date for public hearing to consider the vacation of a 20-foot right-of-way along the eastern property line of Lot 1 of Short Plat 94-7, located approximately 300 feet east of the intersection of Road 100 and West Court Street in Pasco, Washington.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Milne, a second by Ms. Blaisdell, and that moves us to a roll call vote. Ms. Debbie.
Councilmember Blaisdell,
Yes.
Councilmember Grimm,
Yes.
Councilmember Harpster,
Yes.
Councilmember Perales,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Milne,
Yes.
and Mayor Serrano.
Yes.
It passes unanimously.
Thank you. And with that, we've got item E, and I believe Mr. Harpster.
Yep, I'm gonna recuse myself from this one as well. Thanks.
Thank you. We will retrieve you when we're done. I know you are waiting on pins and needles. With that, item E, resolutions number 4474 and 4475, approving 2 developer reimbursement agreements with Big Sky Developers. And back to you, Mr. Gonzalez, the star of the show.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. This item is related to 2 developer reimbursement agreements or latecomers. These items were presented to City Council in mid-July. Latecomer agreements are also known as reimbursement agreements. They serve as a pretty valuable tool for property owners, enabling them to recover the costs incurred for street or utility improvements. The mechanism for this process is outlined in Pasco Municipal Code Chapter 14.25. Eligible costs under these agreements encompass a wide spectrum of infrastructure, and the city's role is more of a facilitator between the private developer and the agreements, primarily ensuring adherence to established standards, regulations, and code. And also a key part is making sure notices and public notice has been completed accurately. The agreement in particular, the 2 agreements in particular, are related to residential subdivisions. Preliminary notices were sent out to all the benefiting parcels that provided a protest procedure, and the city did not receive any opposition or request for a protest on either of the 2 reimbursement agreements for you this evening. Other than that, staff would be happy to answer any questions on the reimbursement agreements for you this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Do we have any questions or comments from council? Seeing none, Mr. Milne will have, again, this is another one with 2 motions. So we'll make the first motion, and then we'll make the second one after the first closes.
All right, thank you, Mayor. I move to approve resolution number 4474, authorizing the city manager to execute a developer reimbursement agreement with Big Sky Developers LLC for the construction of water utility improvements for Spencer Estates Phase 4.
Got a motion?
Second.
And a second by Ms. Blaisdell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously. Now that second motion, Mr. Milne.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve resolution number 4475, authorizing the city manager to execute a developer reimbursement agreement with Big Sky Developers LLC for the construction of utility improvements for the Dunes Burns Road pressure reducing valve.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Milne and a second by Ms. Blaisdell. Any questions or comments? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That too passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Blaisdell. We'll sit tight for Mr. Harpster to come back. Having returned, we're on to item number 10, if I could speak, unfinished business, and I see none. Number 11, new business. I see no lights from council or staff. With that, do we have number 12, miscellaneous discussion? Mr. Lincoln.
Got one quick one before the fun that comes after 12. Really quickly, just had a great opportunity to do a tour with some of our legislative delegation today. We looked at some of our sites, like the area around Amazon, looking at US 12. Also went out to see Lewis Street Overpass, the PWRF updates that have been taking place, and of course the Road 76 site. So it was a good opportunity. We had delegation members from the 16th, the 8th, and the 14th. So all of the areas that will be representing Pasco as soon as the map is in effect. It was great. I think it was well received, and they're now more up to speed on the latest and greatest of what we're doing and what council might be asking for during the session. And Ms. Sarah did a great job of cluing them in on all the technical details of all the facilities and all the projects. So it was overall a really good experience today. Just wanted to give you that update.
Thank you, Mr. Lincoln. I've got Mr. Perales, your light's on.
Yeah, I just got one quick thing. Something's been on my mind lately, and I wanted to see if council was willing to earmark any funding from the marijuana shops that are in our locale now, all those tax dollars towards Parks and Rec for our youth. So I was wondering if we can perhaps bring that and change that, and so that we can earmark that for Parks and Rec. Thank you.
Thank you. Certainly, I think if there's an opportunity, it might be something we might be amenable to. I don't know if Mr. Ferguson, not asking to put you on the spot, but certainly if that's something council wishes, we'd have your office do the research. I guess, does anyone oppose that? Well, I guess let me restate that. Does anyone support that? I'm good with that.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
So if you can move forward, Mr. Lincoln.
And during the budget process, as we get a little more data on what we're collecting, we can make sure that that's called out specifically so that you have an idea of what those totals look like. We can work on getting that for you as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Your light flashed on you.
I was just gonna make
Mr. Herbster.
Did you get a check from the legislators for the 76 overpass? Not yet.
I'm surprised Mr. Grimm wasn't on that. He just stole his baby. Okay, with that, seeing no further lights on miscellaneous, we're going to move on to item number 13, which we do have need for, which is executive session. In addition to what's published, we're going to need 15 minutes from here. We have two issues to discuss. As presented, we have a discussion with legal counsel about current or potential litigation under Revised Code of Washington 42.30.110 subsection 1 Roman numeral 1. And we also have, we are going to consider the minimum offering price for sale or lease of real estate if there's a likelihood that disclosure would decrease the price per RCW 42.330.110 subsection 1, subsection C, or Charlie. And the factors related are the land use and the sale price in the site. So with that, at 15 minutes, anyone need a break ahead of the 15 minutes? Seeing none, we'll just roll it at 8:17. So we'll call it 8:32. We will return. So, thank you. It is 8:33 and we are out of executive session. Having nothing further to discuss, we are done for the night. Thank you for joining us.